Hey, Gary Korb here with my fan mail question, and this month it comes from Jack Ohanian in Lubbock, Texas, who asks, what's the proper method for removing a cigar band? Kind of an odd question, right? I mean, it's something you don't really think about. It's just something you kind of do, right? But it's a fair question. So I'm going to show a few ways you can do that. Now, let's talk about the days of yore, when gentlemen cigar smokers would remove the cigar band before they even lit up their cigar, and that was so they wouldn't advertise, if they were smoking a very expensive cigar, which is kind of interesting, right? I mean, because, cigars are the great social equalizer, and nobody really cares or judges you on what you're smoking these days, right? In fact, I think they like to see what you are smoking. So let's talk about the most fragile wrappers first. Connecticut Shade, as found on this Nat Sherman Timeless Sterling. Very silky, very delicate. And you also have your Ecuador Connecticut, which is a little bit thicker, but also still very delicate. And then there's also Sumatra or Indonesian, and you have also Cameroon, which is very, very delicate as well. Now let's go to the thicker wrappers like the Maduros. It's found on this Juarez by Crown Heads. It is a Mexican San Andreas, one of my favorites. And you also have Connecticut Broadleaf, which is very thick. You have Brazilian Arapiraca, Brazilian Matafina, Nicaraguan Habano, Corojo, Criollo. These wrappers tend to be a little thicker, they tend to be a little oilier, and they can be a little more forgiving. Now, the two least forgiving cigars, they're famous for this actually, almost impossible to get the wrappers off without tearing them, no less the wrapper, are the Liga Privada No. 9 from Drew Estate and, of course, Avos, all right? So they have very thick paper. They have, I don't know what kind of glue is on there, but I think Drew Estate many years ago sent out a memo or something about, people were tearing their the bands, and they were complaining about it. So they said, well, don't even attempt it. Just, send us your name and address and we'll send you some fresh new bands, and we'll replace them. Okay, but enough talk. Let's get to it. And I'll show you how to do this. Now, there's one rule, and that rule is try not to tear the cigar wrapper when you remove the band. Okay? All right, let's go. Okay, so here we have a cigar with a Connecticut Shade wrapper. As you can see, it's a Drew Estate Shade under crown. And it has two bands actually on it. So now I've usually found that the foot band, for some reason, usually comes off pretty easily. Let's see if it's true on this one. And voila, look at that. It's beautiful. Okay, and notice how I did it very slowly. Now, the thing again about removing the neck band is that you want to make sure you have some heat. Okay, that's what softens the glue. So you don't want to take it off right away. You want to be smoking it, and of course, as you get closer, should be enough heat to soften that glue and take it off. Now, let's see if we can do it without any heat, okay? So, we look for the little tab, and it looks like it's going this way. All right, and I'm very, very carefully, very slowly. Everything is patience when it comes to cigars. You have to remember that. All right, just heard a little click. Hopefully that was just the band coming undone from the glue. Oh, wow, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All right, so there you go. There you go. Of course, it does work better with heat. So that's the way you should do it, but that is really nice. All right, well, the second method that I want to show you is what I call the slider. And I kind of switched hands for this because I'm used to doing it with my right hand here. Some bands, you'll notice on your cigar, will just, they'll be loose enough to slide right off, okay? But some are not. So what you want to do is you want to slide it off in a sense, but in the direction of the roll. And the seams are going this way, right? So we're going to take the band off that way. Now, one thing you also want to try is if it's giving you a little bit of resistance, you can sometimes just massage it a little bit. And you might hear a little pop, which hopefully is not the wrapper cracking. It's the band coming loose from the wrapper. So let's see how this one goes on this Macanudo Inspirado Green. And remember the rolling in the direction of the seams. And look at that, it's sliding right off. All right, so here we have a box press cigar. Some beautiful looking Jericho Hill with a Mexican San Andreas wrapper on it. And it's box press, so it's not going to be really easy to spin off, you know. But I can see it already has a little give. So maybe we can just very carefully slide it off the top. Let's see if we can do that. Okay, very carefully. Oh, okay, very carefully. Oh yeah, look at that, look at that. Oh yeah, very nice. Okay, so there you go. All right, there you have it. A few ways to remove the bands from your cigars, and hopefully you won't damage them. And always make sure that the cigar is warm, okay? That's the most important thing. Got to get that glue nice and soft. And also, when you have the foot band, of course, you have to remove that first. So, you know, just be very careful about that. And usually they come off pretty easily. So, hope you liked this video. If you did, please like it on YouTube. We appreciate that very much. And this is Gary Korb for Cigar Advisor signing off right now. I'll see you next month on Fan Mail, and happy smokes.